Okay, so I just got back from a garage sale, and I found an NES. I already have an NES, but I found this one right here for $5. Will it work? I don't know. I just finished cleaning it up, so it's nice and shiny. I haven't touched the insides yet, but I'm gonna see if it works. Here we go. Excuse me, N64. Okay, put that one there. That's mine. Here's the new one. Alright. So I can't do this one-handed, so be back in a second. Okay, it's all plugged in. We're gonna see if it works. So, all right, we're gonna try this game right here, Mega Man 2. And just in case, we're also gonna try out Final Fantasy. We'll do this one first, and then we'll do Mega Man. Red screen. Black screen. And blinking light. Yeah. We all know what that means. It means the NES chip is dead. So, I'm gonna try one more just in case. Red screen. Yep. Okay, let's see. Oh, blinking light again. Yep. Alright. So basically, as I said, blinking light means NES chip is dead. Alright, so in today's video, we're going to obviously be opening up the Nintendo. We're going to take a look at the guts inside, we're going to clean the contacts, and we're going to disable that NES chip, and we're going to see if it works. Alright, so we're going to take this apart, we're going to take a look at the insides, we're going to clean it up a bit, we're going to disable that NES chip, and once we're done, we're going to re-plug it back in, and we're going to test it out, and see if it works. It should work by then. Alright, here we go. Now, we don't need a special tool to take this apart, all we really need is just a Phillips. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I guess you want to count 6 screw points. We're going to remove those, and then the lid should just come right off, right? There we go. Okay, that to the side. Alright. Here's what we're dealing with. Wow, that is dusty. Holy shit. Look at that. Alright, so here we have more screws, obviously. This is for the heat shielding. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 screws. Alright, let's take those out. Alright, so once those are removed, this should come off. There we go. It's a little, wow, it's really dirty. Look at that. Look how dirty that is. Alright, now we have the cartridge tray right here. This has to also be removed. Now, there are 6 screws right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Remember, just keep track of what screws go where. I believe either they're different lengths or they're different colors for a reason, whatever. Just remember where they, remember where each screw goes, alright? So just lay them out in a pattern or something so you at least remember. Alright, so once the screws here are removed, you should have a few more back here. As you can see, one here and one here. See that? So once we take these out, this whole tray should, the tray and the motherboard and whatnot should be able to lift right out, and then we can slide the tray right off. So let's take those out. So this slides right up. Look how easy that was. Just to the side. Okay. So now we take our board, separate it. There we go. This is the bottom heatsink. Now the 10 NES chip is underneath this bottom heatsink. There we go. It's really temperamental, this freaking thing. So now you have these connectors. If you want to take them off, you can take them off. You don't really need to, really. Oh, now like I said, the 10NES chip is on the back of this board right here. And before we take a look at that, let's take this off. Now, this right here is your cartridge port right here. It's where the game comes in, slides in, and locks in place. Alright, we're gonna be taking that off, and we're gonna give that a little clean. So it's not that hard to take off. It will be a little tight, but just, you know, there you go. Comes right off. Alright, so put that right here for now. These contacts are a little corroded. They need a little bit of cleaning, but we're going to worry about that a little bit. First, we're going to disable that 10 NES chip. Alright, so your 10 NES chip is actually this chip right here. See that? This chip. Now, the piece that you're going to want to actually solder, well, not solder. Now, the piece that you're going to want to have to cut is going to be, you see these legs, these metal legs on the bottom? You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 legs. You have 8 legs. You're going to have to want to move that 4th leg right here. This one right here. Now, in order to do that, you're going to need at least a flathead. Some people like to use these right here, little cutters, but I don't recommend that. It's not really safe. You might damage the chip itself. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to take a small flathead screwdriver. So I'm going to be using this right here. This little piece right here is going to go underneath, and it's going to pry that little leg right off the board. But not off the board, it's going to pry it off the chip. We're still going to leave it attached to the board. But once we pry it off the chip, it's going to have nothing to do with it anymore. Then that chip is finally going to be disabled. Remember, we're going to leave these all alone, except for this middle one right here, the one I'm pointing at. That one we're going to pry it off, alright? It's going to take a little bit of time. I'm going to be you got to be very patient with this. Be very careful. You don't want to disturb these other ones right here. You just want to get rid of this guy right here. Alright, so remember the 4th leg. And remember, take your time, be patient. You don't want to destroy the board. See, I got a little bit of it off. Oop, hit the camera. Okay. Alright, and that's all there is to it, as you can see. Right there. It's been completely pried away. So basically this little piece right here is not making any contact to this chip anymore. So we basically just disabled it. Just gonna move it just a little bit. Okay, just to be safe. So it's completely removed, as you can see. Alright. So once that's done, we're gonna see about these contacts. Alright, now, what I use to clean contacts, especially the cartridges, I use isopropyl alcohol and Brasso. This stuff works wonders on pinouts, so you gotta try this out. Okay, now first step, I usually get a couple of these Q-tips right here. Now, first thing I do is I like to take the isopropyl alcohol, just a little bit. And a little bit goes a long way. Don't need to use a lot. Take a little bit of the alcohol first. Scrub on these contacts a little bit first. Just to get any dirt and grime off of it before I use the Brasso. So you can see how stuff has like a lot of dirt and grime on it. Alright, so clean both sides contacts. Okay, once that's done, let it dry for like a few seconds. Alcohol doesn't take that long to dry. Next step, take the Brasso. We're going to apply a little bit of Brasso onto these contacts, take another Q-tip, and just scrub away. Now, don't put a lot of Brasso. Again, a little bit goes a long way. So you can take a little bit of that Brasso right there on that Q-tip. And if you see, you can use about that much. Not a big deal. And if you need to use more, just apply more, right? Just spread this out first. Now what I do is I spread it on here. One side, like that. Let it sit for a bit. We'll let it sit for about, I don't know, 30 seconds, and then we'll start scrubbing. Alright guys, so it's been about 30 seconds, so alright, we're going to start scrubbing. Don't be afraid also to get like really in there, scrubbing really hard. Not gonna break your board, just, you know, don't be an animal. But you can already see stuff coming off. Look at that. How insane is that? That's how much gunk just came off of this. That's all the oxidation from here that came off. Alright? Now we're gonna use the other side. Let's see how much more we can get off. And remember, we're going to do the same thing to the other side of this board. Look at that. It's nasty. Alright, so once you clean up the one side of the board with your Brasso, take this to this side, and what we're going to do is we're going to take another Q-tip. Alright, here we go. And we're going to apply alcohol on this Q-tip, and we're going to take all that Brasso right off. But actually, before you do that, here, take a small piece of paper towel. Alright, you don't need to use a whole freaking piece, just a tiny little piece right here. We're gonna wipe away any remaining Brasso first. Okay, wipe that off. Look at that. Now we're gonna take our Q-tip and alcohol. and we're going to apply it back onto the pins because we're going to get rid of any more remaining brass. So you don't want that stuff to sit on here. You really don't. Alright. Okay. Yeah, we still got more stuff off. Alright. So, once you're done with that, flip it over and do the other side. Look at that. How shiny those contacts are. They're way better than they were previously. Trust me on that. Okay, so once all that's done with, gotta take this little heat sink right here, the bottom heat sink, and just put that back around. Go. Try not to get your fingers on these contacts that you just cleaned. Again, just be aware of what you're doing. Every corner. Don't be an idiot. Alright, I know there's one of you out there probably would do that. Flip it back over. Okay, we're going to take our cartridge slot here. And we're going to place it back on. Okay, make sure it's good and tight. And what we're going to do is we're going to set this down, back on here, nicely. There we go. Make sure all the cords are where they need to be. You got to be careful, you don't want to have this cord go underneath this piece, and then when you go to screw it back on, it'll just cut right through the cords. So just make sure it's not touching at all. Alright, now that that's back on, we're going to apply our screws back on. There we go. These two screws are for the back piece here, so let's put those back on. Next step. Take this guy right here, we're going to slide him back in. Go. Very easy, not hard to do. Alright, so now that everything's back in, next is the other heat shield. Yay. You actually have these little pegs right here that line up to the holes. Make sure they line up. Alright. So we're going to take these screws right here and put them back on. Alright, now that you have everything done here, everything screwed back on, we'll take our little lid here. Nothing on here, right? Okay, gonna take our lid, apply it back on. Go. Turn this over. And we're gonna take our remaining 6 screws right here. gonna put them back in. Alright, let's do that. Okay, so now once everything is placed back together, just make sure this piece goes up and down nicely, stays down. Alright, that's good. Alright, so let's take this back to the TV and plug it in and see if it works. Alright guys, I just plugged in the console and I put in Mega Man 2. Alright, so we're gonna see if it works. Fingers crossed. Not flashing. And, oh shit, it works! It works! Yeah! Another Nintendo console saved from the fucking grave. Alright guys, so that's pretty much it. So that's how you clean up and you disable your 10S chip. So if you get that little flashing light right here, it's pretty much a 10S chip. Alright, so that's pretty much all for right now, guys. As always, I'll be coming with another video soon. Thank you for watching, and please remember to rate, comment, and subscribe. Later, guys. Alright, let me play some Mega Man.